Okay, we're going to do another episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff. Today we have a really interesting update for you from the brand DELUGS. Now, this is a brand that's popped up on my Instagram feed on and off, and even in, I think, some Facebook ads. And they didn't reach out or anything. I just kind of needed some really premium straps, and they had a 19mm lug width, and that wasn't super easy to find, at least trying to find them in any type of abundance of selection. So I went ahead and I took a chance and I made some orders from DELUGS. The strap on the left hand side is one that I actually custom ordered, and then the strap on the right hand side is one that was in stock, kind of part of their ready-made stock that was available. So it was a little tough for me, you know, to find a strap option that really suited these two very different but similar kind of fun dynamic dials. And I think I found some really great matches for them. So I'm excited to kind of share my thoughts with you in terms of the order process, the quality, and also take another look at these gorgeous Citizen dials because they're just really works of art. A little bit about DELUGS. They were launched back in 2018, but have roots going back to 2016. They started out as leather crafters, working with all kinds of leather day in and day out, fussing over the tools and trades and really experimenting with new crafting techniques. They were also watch collectors, and you know, they started out with modest Seikos and whatnot, and their love for mechanical timepieces quickly blossomed into more of an addiction. The common thread of their love for leather crafting and mechanical timepieces was really obvious, so they started making mostly made-to-order straps constructed out of the most premium leathers they could source. They rapidly expanded their offerings into ready stock handcrafted straps, removing the typical waiting time of weeks and months, and provided a range of widths and sizes that most people weren't used to seeing, including myself, and they really wanted to cater to the needs of almost all watch collectors. So with all that said, let's go ahead, zoom the camera out, get these pieces in hand, and take a closer look. All right, guys, so these are two really great pieces, and these are both gray straps. So on this side, you're gonna have the light gray Nubuck Slim strap, costs about $95 direct, and then on this side, this is an Epsom made-to-order strap that goes for $115. They didn't have the ready-made Epsom strap, and I'm kind of glad that they didn't, because I was able to get it in a different cut. This is the more standard cut, so there's padding here versus the slim line, so it worked out. I almost makes me, you know, you let me know in the comments what you guys think, but I think I almost kind of want to get one of these ordered with a little bit of the padding in there, just because I like it so much. But let's start with the watch that I got first, which is this guy right here, this beautiful Citizen, and you can see it has this really interesting silver leaf dial that also has some lacquering done to it. So two different techniques, very nice and very clean. Sedate, and you can see that there are little hints and touches of finishing there on the dial that really pop. So I wanted something that really fit with that and didn't really upstage it in any way, and I found that this light gray finish on this Epsom leather had a great texture, had a nice little cream kind of stitch which tied in, wasn't too contrasty or anything like that, and overall the quality, also, you know, stepping up to get the quick release spring bars, very nice, and I was really happy with that purchase, to the point to where even though I already had a suede strap for the blue version, I was like, oh man, like what would the DELUGS version of a suede strap look like? And I had to, oh, looks like there's a little bit of dust on the dial there. There you go. I had to check that out, guys, and I'm glad that I did, because it is a real, oh, look at that dial. Look at the way it plays. I actually put a little reflector up on the roof, on the ceiling, I should say, so that it doesn't completely black out and you guys can get some better lighting on this dial. And I'll even change up, we can switch the camera aspect and get into some some kind of macro-ish shots with some better lighting as well. But in terms of the strap itself, this is part of their slim line. You can see it's quite slim, and the other strap I had on it before was suede as well, but it was a little bit of a fuzzier kind of suede. This nubuck here is a lot smoother, and it just has a little bit of a lighter texture to it, and I like that because it just looked a little bit more uniform. But I did like the fact that there was some texturing. Same thing with this strap. I like that there's some texturing that ties in with the texture on the dial, and of course I like that the color is quite versatile in terms of matching that with, you know, other things, in terms of, yeah, when you know, your wardrobe and whatnot, your shoes, getting something that kind of has a very similar kind of feel to it. And of course the more fluffy kind of matted suede, you know, I don't really have a lot of stuff that had that similar texture, so I thought, hey, why not try this? And I'm really happy that I did. I will say that maybe it's just my eye, but I think it might even look better if this was a thicker gauge, like if it had the padding that's built in to this model. Take a look here. See how it has a little bit of extra padding and a little bit of thickness that's added. That little bump just helps it kind of transition off of the case. But I also think that it being thinner like this just gives it more of a casual vibe, and I think the blue dial is definitely the more casual choice within the pair. So a little bit about this particular strap. The nubuck has a very soft touch, with a short, even nap. So versus what I had on it before, which was a little bit thicker, so it had a higher nap to it. This is nice and short, very supple and flexible from the start, so you don't have to break it in or anything like that. And it's nice, I think, if you're looking for something that's casual for daily activities, but also wearable, right? So it's soft, it's thin, but still quite sturdy. It doesn't feel, you know, flimsy or anything like that. So this is within in terms of the strap style at the DELUGS site. This is the slim style. It has the thread color of pearl gray, and then the strap thickness is 2.2 millimeters, and then the buckle type is a regular buckle that is brushed and engraved, signed as DELUGS. And yeah, it's a very nice little setup here. I'm digging that, and we'll definitely get to some on the wrist time as well. Now when we get over to this piece, it's a little bit more expensive because I had to get it made to order, but the texture is really beautiful on this Epsom leather. It has a really good resistance to it in terms of the nature of it. Just feels a little bit more sturdy and solid, so it's not, I'm not worried about scratches discoloring it. It's actually quite water resistant as well, and it, you know, pretty much looks just as good after a lot of use. I like that it still kind of looks the way that it is, and it's not something you have to break in or age and add patina. It always looks this good, and I haven't seen anything, you know, anything to tell me any different as I've been wearing it. So it was the right choice for me in that, you know, from that point of view. And then Epsom is actually from a particular tannery in France that's really well known for its quality, wide range of colors, and that very nice rigidity where it's stiff enough to you know, hold its shape and whatnot, but it's still quite supple, which I really like. It's actually the same leather that's used in many Hermes products, if you guys know, you know, luxury goods within Hermes. Now, in terms of the style, this is their signature line, so it does have the bit of padding there. The color of the Epsom leather is light gray. It has a straight lug there versus, you know, curved option if I wanted to. It does have the quick release spring bars opted in. It has the buckle with a polished finish. That is also signed, as you can see, and then the taper goes from 19 down to 16, and this is a size large, which means that this longer length here is 125 millimeters and 75 millimeters at the top with a cream thread color, and then no side stitch, so it's not going to have that point where it goes like that, which is a little bit more of a I'd say a vintage look. I think this is a little bit more classic and is, I think, a little bit more timeless, which I like. So with that said, let's actually, what should we do now? Let's get them on wrist. Okay guys, as you can see on my 7.5 inch wrist, where it's really nice, it's about 7 1/4 if I was to wear it more on the wrist bone itself or a little bit further up, because you can see the wrist, of course, naturally a little thinner here, then it gets a little bit wider the higher up you go. But I think this looks absolutely fantastic. I really dig it, and I do think that kind of shorter nap on the suede looks really, really great. Look, you know, a little bit sportier, a little bit more refined, and I think the color play is really nice. It doesn't upstage the dial, but it suits it in terms of there being, you know, a bit of texture to it versus something that would be a little bit more glossy. Then on the other side, although the leather here has a little bit more of a gloss to it, it also has texture that also ties in to this dial, which is really hard to pick up on camera, which, you know, maybe I'll sneak in some macro again at the end of the video so we can take a closer look. But you can see it really conforms to the wrist really nicely. And then the nice thing is when you do have that padding, it does add a little bit of rigidity, so it keeps the wrist centered, or say keeps the watch centered on your wrist where you need it, and then where it thins out on that taper down, just makes it even more comfortable. So really beautiful, and I dig it. I think it just kind of flows. It almost looks like it could have been an option from the factory, of course, but to a very nice execution. And there are straps that are a lot more expensive than these two, and there are straps that are a lot cheaper, and there's some straps that maybe are better bang per buck when it comes to, you know, ultimate value. And there might be some straps, well, I know there's definitely some straps that cost a lot more that may not be this nice, or maybe are this nice but just happen to cost 2-3 times the cost. So it's one of those things where the costing, you know, the pricing, that side of it can be, you know, hard to judge at times. But for me, guys, within where I'm at in my kind of buying tastes for watches, there's somebody who likes watches like this that are insanely high value for not a lot of money. These really suit that. You know, these are really high value. If these were not manufactured in Asia and they were like coming out of France or somewhere else in Europe, I'm certain they would cost a lot more. It did take quite a few weeks for this one to get done on the custom side. This one shipped relatively quickly. They both shipped via DHL, and it worked out. I mean, I didn't like waiting, but I have to say it was totally worth the wait, and it honestly has me wondering if I should reorder this one in a custom that has a bit more of that padded structure up top. Let me know what you guys think. But with that said, let's move into some bonus shots of these glorious dials. All right, let's start off with this dial here. You can see it has this nice pale silver, and then there are just some really nice hints there, very subtly done in terms of texturing, which show up a lot more, admittedly, on the blue dial variation. But gotta say, let's see what I can do in terms of turning up the light more, if that'll expose it a little bit more. I think but the best way to enjoy this one is out in direct sunlight and having it just peer over. But check out how well finished those indices are. Wow, fantastic. And then turn the light down a touch. Maybe not. Oops. Let's go up here. Yeah, I think that's probably the best amount of light there. But I hope you guys enjoyed breathing that in. Definitely a little bit nicer look at this glorious dial here. Really quite fantastic. So we'll put that off to the side now, and let's do it. Let's get to the blue here. Check that out. Whoa! Some particles on there. Okay. Look at that. Wow. I might be able to even turn this lighting up a little bit more because that blue is so deep. Wow. Looks like the earth. In that it just has that blue, but then there's little hints of green tones and browns. It's really, really outstanding. And you can see that the which shows up a lot easier, of course, is the texturing within that silver leaf that is on the dial, and then you do get some great glossiness from the top coat, which is done in a really beautiful lacquered finish. So really quite gorgeous, guys, and I'm really happy with these pieces, and I'm glad that I was able to find some really unique straps that just fit the bill in terms of how nice you can get, and it not just be about paying for the name. You know, you get something really special and well executed. Not the cheapest you'll find, but definitely some of the nicest straps, you know, for right around $100. This one, 95, so not too shabby. Of course, you are gonna also pay for shipping, which adds to some cost there, guys, but this thing is just such a looker. Wow, let me try to get it nice and close. Check that out. Wow, so beautiful. Let's see if we can, maybe if I have it at an angle like that. I'll get it here, and I'll just turn down the lights a little bit. There you go. You can see that texture a lot better. We'll go one back up. That texture, ooh, almost like right up to the lens there. See how beautiful that is. Really fantastic. So with this out of the way, let's even get into some setup for some closing thoughts on these straps, and maybe a little bit about the watches as well. Man, look at that. I don't even know if I want to change camera angles on this. Alright guys, so I hope you're not waiting for a low light transition. If you do want to see the full reviews for these videos, what I'll do is at the end of the video, I'll have them to where they'll be like clickable squares after this video is over. But in terms of closing thoughts, guys, these are actually some of the finest leather straps I've ever experienced, to be completely honest. Although they're not like perfect to some crazy degree, they're extremely well built. They're exactly what I thought they would be when ordering them, which is not always the case. The way the colors render, the way the patterns and textures look, like they do a really good job of representing that on their site, which not every brand does, at least the ones that make straps. So I appreciate that. They're really beautifully executed, and they wear as well as they look. Like that's another thing, is like I think that the more you pay, the more you kind of get into, okay, this actually wears well too. It doesn't just look like a cool leather strap or a nice texture. It actually feels good. It feels a little bit more expensive, a little bit more rich and supple. So, while these aren't the cheapest or the most convenient to purchase, especially when things are out, they are very accessible. Again, 19mm lugs, I found them here, and I had quite a few choices. So they're absolutely excellent value for money still, I believe, and they really suit these lovely Citizen NB1060s. I think they really go well, and honestly, I'm kind of looking for a perfect bracelet that might fit these, because the one that does fit from the NB1050 lines, it's just not up to par, because how beautiful and how exceedingly wonderful these dials are executed. It just would feel weird to pair it with a subpar bracelet that really doesn't do the rest of the case and dial and hand setup justice. So I think that these straps really do that, and I'm looking forward to wearing these. And and now it'll just be not questioning which strap to wear, but maybe which one to grab out of these two when I'm headed out the door. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Which watch is for you? Blue dial, silver dial? Which strap is for you? Did you like the Epsom with a more classic look, or did you like the more contemporary nubuck strap? And then also, do you think that I should go for the padding, or kind of stick to this one as is on the nubuck? And does that slim profile just help it even feel a little bit extra contemporary? So looking forward to your thoughts, and if you guys have any questions, definitely feel free to let me know. And then if you have any comments, like if you guys had some experiences with DELUGS, which I've ordered, this is my third strap that I ordered for them. I had another strap that I got for a Seiko Presage, my Zen Garden, was a DELUGS strap that I really have enjoyed as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked the video, please do a like, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.